Maddie from Hello Interloper here. This is actually my second time recording this. Apparently, if I have my streaming program open while I unplug my mic is taking off my audio channel, so when I plug it back in, it's not there. And I accidentally recorded the last video without audio. So, I'm gonna try to remember everything I said in the first version, but if I forget something, I apologize. Not that anyone would be able to pick up on it. But, okay, so let's talk about some current events. Special Dungeons 10 has just started about, I believe it was 2 days ago. And there hasn't really been any major change worth noting, except for the fact that there has been a slight change to the Expert Tower. I don't know if this applies at all to the beginner or advanced tower, simply because I never go in there. I only use the Expert Tower. But on certain zones, there are now kind of enemy specializations. Like one zone, for instance, they say you should probably have a team that has a high attack because they have a lot of magical abilities, and so on and so forth. And there's one level that's full of debuffs. Unfortunately, they're wisdom and attack debuffs, so if you have an agility based team, you're pretty much in the clear. It is rather tough to get through some of these levels, and it's highly recommended to have some elixirs. Of course, you can easily exchange one Gjallarhorn for about 15 elixirs or 10 elixirs on the bazaar just by buying something cheap worth one Gjallarhorn and then selling it back for elixirs. But I would say I probably used about 15 clearing up until zone 11, so it's not too hard. Zone 11 actually was a lot easier than some of the previous zones, but there are a few familiars in there that you should really watch out for, especially one that has Burning Rage, which is kind of like Flash of Rage and takes out a lot of HP. But a lot of people are speculating that this might be another sort of push for DeNA, however the hell you say that company name, kind of like a push for to make people spend money. Because unfortunately, if you do not have a really good team, you probably won't be able to get through the Expert Tower in its entirety. But who knows at this point? We do know that the Iron Golem still is not tradable. Very disappointing. But I guess they're going to probably keep it in the pact so people can complete them later. I don't know. But anyway, so that's enough about the dungeon towers themselves. Let's go over some of the new familiars that have been added. We have Lycone, I don't know how the heck to pronounce this, but it seems to be the case with a lot of Blood Brothers familiars. He is actually a very useful boss, and I'll say this because, unlike most of the previous, special dungeons guys who have intense assault, icicle, something that is a one target attack, he has Scythe Storm. So it's pretty interesting to see an agility based special dungeon boss. But not only that, if I go over here to the final evolution, he's got some pretty nice stats. All of his stats are above 10k. He's very well balanced. And overall, if you do have an Agi based team, he might be worth making. Of course, he might be worth making no matter what team you have, especially if you have stats lower than 10k each on one of your guys. He's going to be very cheap. Of course, when Special Dungeons ends, he will probably be around one Gjallarhorn, one Mandrake, even a few elixirs if you're lucky. But you can pretty much trade anything for him. Be pretty nice to add something good to your team. I think this is a new pattern of things that they do now. Seeing that the previous Special Dungeons we had Impuza with Hellfire, which is a lot better than Intense Assault. So hopefully we'll be seeing more familiars like this in the future in Special Dungeons. So let's talk about the Legendary. So they're kind of going along with this whole thing where the Legendary and the Rare are kind of connected stats-wise. I'm going to go open up Ebon Dragon here. The Legendary. So some pretty nice artwork, I gotta say. Very bright and sort of glowy. But the Ebon Dragon is pretty much, well, he is attack based, but he has like lower defense, which we also see in the rare. But let me open him up here. See, he looks different here. He turns purple instead of blue. Still some nice artwork. And he has Rally Cry, which is a new ability. And let me quickly go back to his stats. He does have a high amount of HP, almost 17k HP, low defense. So the new skill is called Rally Cry, raises stats by 10% for all party members. So it will be a pretty good ability for people who have, all legendaries and want an extra stat boost. This will probably set apart certain teams because, if you have all legendaries, you already have high stats, but if you can boost those crazy stats even more by 10%, you probably will have an upper hand. So it's interesting. Now, meanwhile, the rare also has a nice artwork. I gotta say, this is one of my favorite familiars look-wise. It's extremely detailed. Now, once again, low defense. That's kind of the connection. And we also have a new skill called Ice Fog. Let me just quickly show you guys the stats, and then I'll go over that skill, because unfortunately the skill is extremely disappointing, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. Here we have, once again, the high HP, low defense, but extremely high wisdom, which is pretty nice. And it does factor into her ability, which is Ice Fog. So Ice Fog is a new ability only used by ngmoco, and it's a 100% wisdom multiplier, which pretty much means it'll do the damage of the wisdom. So in this case, if it's a perfect evolution, about 14k damage when we don't take into account the enemy's wisdom. So it weaves the spell of ice to deal damage to all foes. That seems great and all, but we have actually seen this ability before in Torrent of Ice. Now, I'm sure you've experienced this a lot with Nidhogg, Blue Dragon when fighting them or using them. It's the exact same ability, except the only difference is Torrent of Ice is a little bit better because it freezes foes, has a 30% chance to freeze. So in other words, all Ice Fog really is a dumbed down version of Torrent of Ice. That's kind of disappointing. However, ngmoco has an extremely high wisdom, much higher than Nidhogg, and pretty sure higher than Blue Dragon. Yes, higher than Blue Dragon. So she will do more damage. Unfortunately, we don't get the benefit of that freeze ability. So that's it for the special dungeons familiars. Now let's go over some new things that have been added. In the special dungeons, once you get about, I believe it's 20,000 points, you get a Good Dream Egg. Of course, that's great and all, except the only way to get another egg to evolve it is through buying a pact. And the Good Dream Egg turns into Ayoshika. I believe that's how you say it. But it's kind of funny to see a bunny-related familiar here. She's got pretty good stats. I mean, she has good wisdom, good attack, agility, low defense, but she has Ice Fang, which is a new ability, and it's modified by 150% attack, deals damage to 3 foes. So pretty much what we're seeing here is Ice Fist, but with a freeze ability. If I actually look up Ice Fist here, we can see that they kind of have the same modifier, except Ice Fist is actually 170% rather than 150. So unfortunately, we do lose a little bit of attack power in favor of the freeze ability. Now, if we move on here, oops, kind of revealed by accident, but we have the Bad Dream Egg, and this can only be gotten from pacts. And kind of creepy looking, but it turns into Taviskara. Depends on whether or not you say that W as a W or a V. But he's one scary looking rabbit. Would not want to face him in a dark alley. And he's got extremely high agility and low wisdom, which is understandable. And he has Shadow Strike, which seems to be another new ability. It's a multi-attack ability, deals Agi-based damage to 4 random foes. Oops, I accidentally selected that. And it's 100% Agi modifier, meaning it'll do the amount of damage of the agility stat of him. So about 15k each to 4 random foes. pretty nice. Now, of course, it's up to speculation whether or not these guys will actually be tradable after this event, seeing that we didn't see tradability with the Iron Golem, and that was kind of given out for free. For the most part, you can kind of say that the good Dream Egg has been given out for free because it's given to anybody who reached 20,000 points. Not so hard to actually reach, but it may actually be, unfortunately, a marketing ploy. You have the good Dream Egg, you want to get the second good Dream Egg to evolve it, you buy a pact, you probably don't get what you want, but, whatever. Now, I actually did buy one of the packs, because the first pack was $1, 100 blood coins, and I recently redeemed a iTunes gift card from App Bounty. Of course, if you haven't any clue what App Bounty is, make sure you check my videos. It's a pretty cool website where you download apps, test them out, and you get points that you can redeem for iTunes gift cards. I actually redeemed a $25 iTunes gift card, so I've been kind of spending it a little bit here and there, so I decided to drop $1 on Pact, and I actually got a 3-star Odin from it, which was very surprising, seeing that whenever I'm given a Scarlet coin, when Blood Brothers decides, we reached 5 million, 10 million players, let's give everybody a Scarlet coin, I've always gotten complete garbage rares, so I was very surprised to actually get something useful for my dollar. Of course, I don't really know if anybody else will be as lucky. Still haven't been able to sell it, though. Put it up in the bazaar and didn't exactly go through. I guess I'll place it back up tomorrow. So, anyway, that's about all I have to say about the new familiars. Now, I will quickly tell you guys one thing about an old familiar, Farwell the Insatiable. I kind of estimated before that he was going to be pretty cheap because there's just so many placed in the market. Pretty much everybody who ranked above 35,000 or something ended up getting one of him, not to mention the fact that he was also a points reward once you reached a certain amount of points within the last event. Now, because there's so many, I said it was going to be cheap. Well, as soon as it went into the bazaar, it was about 5 Gjallarhorns, and of course, that was just the initial rush where everyone is selling and buying him, trying to snatch him up from the bazaar, build one. But of course, the price has gone down to 3 Gjallarhorns, which is pretty crazy because he's got some nice stats and a pretty good ability. In case you need a refresher, his ability is Rubber Arm, which is a sweeping attack, and it hits everybody in the rear. So it's 150 times attack multiplier, and it hits everyone in the rear in a sweeping fashion, kind of like Scythe Storm, something like that. And of course, it's very situational because in certain attack formations, sometimes you only have one guy in the rear, so that's a little bit disappointing if you ended up facing somebody like that with Farwell. But on the other hand, he's got some pretty good stats. If we look over here, he's got about 14.5k attack, about 14k defense, very low agility and wisdom, and it's pretty low HP too, but his defense kind of makes up for it. But for 3 Gjallarhorns apiece, you could build a perfect evolution for quite cheap. And of course, it's up to speculation whether it'll go any lower. Who knows? It might go down to 2 if you're lucky. And overall, he's pretty good familiar. If you've got some Gjallarhorns laying around, need to make a quick upgrade or whatnot. So that's about it for today. If I forgot anything, I'm truly sorry, but I did have to re-record this, which was kind of a bummer. And I know I'm extremely behind with making a lot of videos. Unfortunately, some things have come up in my personal life. I'm recovering from pink eye. I think I accidentally touched the ferret and then touched my eye because I'm forgetful like that. So I've been recovering from that. I'm behind in my ceramics class just because I find it so much fun to make stupid little things like cups and figurines rather than working on my projects. So I've been going in extra. I had a paper last week, just all this crazy stuff. So unfortunately I've been late with this video, and I'll probably be late with a few others. On the other hand, I am going to try to find time to make a Rage Bahamut video. Of course, answer all those question and answer sessions, finally get the World Battle Coliseum guide done, and most of all, I know a lot of people love this section, but I will have a what is it called? New coin pool data video up. I actually have so much data on my phone right now, and by data I mean I literally take a screenshot of everything I pull from coins, and I'm gonna compile it together, make a new video, compile that data together, so you guys can get a better idea of what you get from your silver and copper coin pools. But that will be done pretty soon. So keep an eye out on the channel. In the meantime, good luck in this event. Take care.